Hey, B30. So we are on Act 4, and so we got up to Scene 4, and then we'll finish up the act, and then we only have one more act to go, and then we're done. So planning on doing that. It should be finished. Well, hopefully tomorrow you might be able to finish it. So let's plan for that, and then we'll go from there. A reminder that your research paper and tombstone are due November 30th. And stay tuned for more information about what Thursday will look like. Okay. I think that's about it. Oh, yeah. Yoda quotes. So you are taking Yoda's quotes and rewriting them grammatically correct. You may have to have either two simple sentences or preferably more complex sentences. So, or compound complex. So compound sentences are two simple sentences put together with a joining word, which is a conjunction. So and, but, or, for example. Those are really the easy ones. And you could maybe make it a little more complex and use semicolons and paraphrase some of the information. So as long as you don't lose context, so keep that in mind as well. Then we have the Shooting an Elephant by George Orwell essay. So please read that. Number off your paragraphs. So when you make your references to validate your responses, you are making references to specific paragraphs. And there's 3 questions at the end of the essay. And then you have abbreviations. So you have a bunch of abbreviations listed there and acronyms. And your job is to take that abbreviation or acronym and write out the full version of it. So for example, TSN, you would write to get your full marks, the Sports Network. Okay, pretty easy. So majority of the information is North American, so keep that in mind. Except when you get into currency and countries, I think would be the only ones that you'd have to branch out for obvious reasons. But everything else should be North American. Okay. And if you can keep it in a chart the way it is, you know, all the sports teams, that kind of thing, then great. And just a reminder about the sports teams, all of them are in Canada. Okay, so stick to Canada in that regard. And like SC, for example, is now not South Carolina. Don't put South Carolina. It's Swift Current. Okay, so be sure you're careful on that one. And if you do have any errors on the assignment, obviously you get a second chance to get half your marks back. So, but be careful on what you're doing for that assignment, because it can be a little tricky for some of them. All right, so let's get to Hamlet. Press pause where you need to press pause. And so episode 4 or act 4, we have death and revenge. So we have in scene 1, the account of the death of Polonius at the end of Act 3 is shared. And of course, Claudius is now feeling the walls coming in, and he's totally expecting he's next in, on the chopping block, so to speak. And so he has to get rid of Hamlet somehow. And he's already announced he's going to be sending him to England, but now he's speeding up the process, and he's going to send Rosencrantz and Guildenstern with Hamlet to escort him there. And then the King of England will kill Hamlet for Claudius, because Claudius can't seem to do anything himself except for killing his own brother and marrying his brother's wife. All right. He couldn't even follow through with the forgiveness and redemption of his sins in confession. He couldn't do that. He decided to brush it off and then decide to stick with the crown and the queen. He'd rather have that than have his soul redeemed. So that is scenes 1, 2, and 3. And we only got to scene 4. So I'm just going to stop it there. But we have scene 4 is the Fortinbras of Norway, Fortinbras Jr. He's basically telling everybody that they're going to be going to Poland and deal with some stuff there, when in fact it's Denmark he wants. So there's going to be like thousands of men marching on Denmark, and so Hamlet is, I guess you have to kind of, not sure if Hamlet totally understands that Denmark is under siege at that point, or maybe he's taking the captain's account of what the captain's been told, that the plan is to go after Poland. But I guess you kind of have to read it the way you understand it anyways. The most important part though, I really don't pay too much attention to that part. I spend more attention to his Hamlet's little speech at the end there, and the one we're going to have a little competition, probably on. Well, we're going to have to figure that out. We'll have that competition at some point where we read an even for an eggshell line and build it up, and you'll see that when we have the movie. As well, how Hamlet builds it up. It's that he's done all these how could we say, he's done everything else except for the job that he was supposed to do, and that was to save his father's soul from purgatory. And he's been playing games. He's had played the game of madness, had the play within the play. He had a chance to finish Claudius off in confession, but then he realized that if he kills Claudius in confession, his soul goes to heaven, King Hamlet is free, and of course his soul goes to hell. So he's been playing all these different games and things like that, and he hasn't done what he was supposed to do. And of course, when he goes after his mother and speaks daggers to her, the ghost comes back and reminds Hamlet what his job is supposed to do or be, and that is to leave his mother for Judgment Day, get back on track, and save my soul from purgatory. So after a lot of reflection, I guess we'll call it, in that little speech, he prepares to head off to England with the plan of coming back. We don't know what that plan is yet, but we'll find out shortly. And yeah, we'll see where it goes from there. All right. So that's Act 4, Scenes 1 to 4. All right. So you have any questions, please let me know. If you have any questions about your paper, please let me know. Look in your course online booklet, your MLA 8 citations and how to do your works cited. All that is there. It's on the LibGuide as well. So check that out. It's all there. So check it out first before you ask. And if you need some little tweaking with your paper, please bring it my way. I'll certainly take a look at it, just see whether you're on the right track. And we've already used up their laptop time, so the rest is on your own. And of course, your tombstones need to be done as well. So the sooner you get it in, the better. We have 2 papers completed. So those people their plates are a little lighter now, and that's all about time management. It's important for you to balance that out, or find a balance so that you can work on other things as well. Okay, so until then, take care and be safe.